Scott Barkley. I want to tell you a little bit about how I got started in the Forex. Back in year 2001, I was in the technology business, actually with my partner, Jerry Rankin. He was my boss at that time. And Jerry left the company, and when he did, everybody that he brought with him got fired. So here I am, I'm 50 years old, I'm in a technology business. There's a 20-year-old who will do the job for less than half of what I would do it for. And so I was basically in a position where I couldn't find a job. So I started a website design company and was doing that. I was working 23 hours a day, selling websites, designing websites, putting them all together, doing all that kind of stuff. And a guy came to me one day and said, hey, I want to give a bunch of money to Romania. I know you do some stuff in Romania. And I said, wow, that's awesome. I said, it was a lot of money. So I said, what do you do for a living? He said, well, I've learned to sit at my computer and make $2,000 to $20,000 a day. And I thought for a second, I said, wait a minute. I sit at my computer 23 hours a day and I don't make even the low number, let alone the high number. So I said, what do you do? He said, I've learned to trade the Forex. Uh-oh, I got the bug right there. So what ended up happening? I started, like everybody here, started downloading videos and doing this and doing that. And I eventually learned to scalp for 5 to 8 pips, right? And one time when I was doing that, I actually traded 78 trades in a row without a loss. And I looked down there and saw how much money I'd made, and then I thought, how much money did I risk? And it was apparent to me that I was breaking every rule in the margin management book that you could break, all right? So I was actually working for a Forex company this time. I was a very famous trainer. I was going around the world training Forex all over the world, but I was teaching people to scalp. And I went to the company and said, you can't do this. It's not possible to make any money doing this. But they had built a company based on scalping and they would not change that methodology. So I ended up with an integrity issue and I had to leave. So I left the company and started on my own just trading. And what ended up happening, we created a trading club with traders around me. And we ended up with about 14 traders. And we rented a building down on a place called Poker Alley. It's actually the place where the cowboys would stop and play poker on their way driving the cattle up to Kansas City. So we rented a place there and we started trading and we started testing and testing and testing. And because we had 14 people, it didn't take long to do quite a few of those assignments that we had. If you try to do them yourself, times 14 people, you can see how long it takes. So by this time I had got my friend Jerry, you'll hear his story later. I got him into trading also, and Jerry's a programmer. And Jerry said, I can program this stuff. And so we set out to create a set of charts that would show traders how to target trade. Not to scalp for 5 to 8 pips, but to find targets and be able to stay in long enough to make those pips and know that the money was still coming in to do it. And so we created those charts, and what ended up happening was we created a little club and people paid dues to belong to that club. And the next thing you know, we had a bunch of traders in there, and what happened? Well, now we needed a redundant server, and Jerry was doing tech support and all kinds of crazy stuff. And we had to make a decision. We either get out of the business or we get 100% into it. So we made the decision to get into the business. So we actually got drugged kicking and screaming into the ProAct charting software business. None of us ever wanted to do that. We were just trying to create software for ourselves and just go along trading for ourselves. So here we are, fast forward now. I'm up here and we're now 18 years later, and we've created a worldwide business with traders all over the world trading currencies. Now, during that period of time, I also became a training consultant for FXDD. At that time, FXDD was the second largest retail broker in the world. And I became a trading consultant for them. And I traveled around the world with a guy by the name of Greg Michalowski. You may know him from Forex Live. Well, Greg was a banker and a banker's trader over in London for 12 years. So in the process of 3 years of riding around with him, do you think I learned something about how the bankers trade? I learned a whole lot. And there's a saying in the Forex, when the student is ready, the teacher will show up. And that's exactly what happened in my life. As I progressed, I was ready for something else. Suddenly, magically, well, divinely I say, the teacher appeared. I'll give you an example. I decided I want to learn fibs, right? So I found a fib master. Remember, this is back in the old days, 2001, 2002, 2003, in that area right in there. The forex was brand new. I found this guy and he said, yeah, I'll teach you fibs. I said, how much it cost you? Cost me, and he said, $3,500. Okay, how much will you give me in time? He said, I'll give you 3 hours. That's the way it was in the old days. But the good news was I found the best fib master in the world. So it was actually the best $3,500 I ever spent, all right? And as I went along, I ended up with great mentors who taught me how the big boys actually trade. And that's the methodology we use today with charts that are fantastic, show us momentum, show us when the money's there, and show us where to find the targets, how to do that, and stay in for way more pips than 5 or 8 pips. So that's my story. Hope it helps you, and love to see you in the live rooms.